First, thanks to to Dev Together and Rachel for having me here. I'm really excited to speak with you all tonight. The title of my talk is Career Changers and Impostor Syndrome, Leveraging Your Unique Strengths. First, a little bit about myself. My name is Christine Zekis, but I go by Tine Zekis, which also happens to be my Twitter handle for those of you live tweeting the talk. And as many of you have correctly guessed, oh, no, I skipped one. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And as many of you have correctly guessed, I am a career changer. In my former life, I was a high school math teacher, and I started learning to code about 4 years ago. I actually also went to Dev Boot Camp. Ben and I did not overlap, but yay. And I currently work as a mid-level software engineer at an ad tech called Centro. So it wasn't too long ago that I was in the position of looking for my first dev job. And one of the things that really stands out to me about that experience is imposter syndrome. So let's start with a definition so we're all talking about the same thing. Imposter syndrome is a thought pattern where you kind of diminish your accomplishments, and you're largely associating your successes with luck. This is also paired with a fear of being exposed as a fraud or just less capable than you appear to be. Imposter syndrome can impact all kinds of people in all different stages of their careers, but I think that a group that is especially prone to this kind of thinking are career changers. I say that for a few reasons. First, it's tough to be new, especially if you're coming from somewhere else where you were an expert. There may be times where you feel like you don't belong in tech. And maybe some of your colleagues have been coding since high school and you've been coding for 6 months. These are all legit concerns, but they don't tell the whole story. So I want to talk about one strategy you can use if you start to feel imposter syndrome sneaking up on you. Imposter syndrome feeds off of a deficit mindset. So, I've never done this, I don't know how to do that thing, everyone's gonna figure out I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. These are the thoughts that breed imposter syndrome. So we're gonna work on ditching the deficit mindset. So let's not think about what you haven't done yet, because you bring a unique experience that no one else on your team has. So think about your unique talents. What transferable skills have you been honing in your previous experiences? Because these are the things that are going to build your confidence and help you to start contributing to your team immediately when you start. So for instance, when I was looking for my first dev job, I thought about what kinds of skills I had honed as a math teacher. For example, I can get up in front of a room full of people and give a presentation. I also bring a passion for social justice, which translates well to working on diversity and inclusion initiatives in tech. But I think the most important skill that I bring is the ability to teach. Maybe the guy next to me has been coding since high school, but I've been tutoring math since high school. So I can take a concept that most people find scary or intimidating, like deriving the quadratic formula, or considering the limitations of a technology that my team is looking into. And I can explain it at a level that will make sense to the person I'm talking to. Not every engineer can do that, but every good dev team sure could use someone who can. So in my interview for my first dev job, I told my future boss, I'm a developer who speaks human. So what about you? Maybe you've been in sales and your new dev team is building a product for the sales team at your company. My goodness, who better to have in those meetings than you? You can help your team better understand the needs of your users since you're familiar with the day-to-day of a sales team. And you can explain the technical stuff in a way that your colleagues across the table will understand. So the sales example is awfully specific and probably doesn't apply directly to many of you. So take a moment and think about what kinds of skills you bring to the table. I'll actually give you a moment to think about it. Not too long, I guess, if we're running late. So here are some examples that you might be thinking of. Maybe you've been in customer service, or you have great communication skills. Maybe you're a musician and you're really good at pattern recognition, or you've done work with creative problem solving. Or maybe in previous experiences you've honed the art of persuasion, right? All of these things can be invaluable tools to bring to a dev team. Oh, no, I skipped ahead. So I guess over the next few days, you'll want to think about, what are those things that you bring that will be a unique skill that you can highlight in interviews. Maybe it's empathy, as Sven was talking about. But if you're having trouble thinking of something, consider this. Being new is an asset in and of itself. You are a fresh pair of eyes on the code. You can ask questions that no one else has thought of because, we've always done it this way. So you bring your unique experience into everything that you do. And you'll be viewing things with that perspective. I'd like to leave you all with this. I'm going to try to be short so our next group can come in. Awesome developer teams that know what they're doing aren't just looking for a good fit. They're looking for a good ad. They want someone who brings something to the table that no one else has. So walk into your interviews knowing that that's you. Walk into your first day on the job knowing that's you. And then comes the really hard part. Walk into all the other days on the job knowing that's you. If you're worried that that might not come naturally to you, I've found it's best to take it at a bit of a strut.